Watch and learn how to cut this thread pant trouser. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is to fold your fabric into two like so. How do you know the amount of fabric you're going to fold? Divide your lapse measurement by 2 and add your sewing allowance. That is the amount of fabric you're going to fold for the front cutting. Okay, so after that, you mark out your starting line like you see me doing in this video. Mark out your starting line. This starting line will serve as your waistline. Okay, so after that, you place your tape on the line that you mark and reduce your 2 inches for band. Here I'm using 2 inch for this band. You can use 1.5. So place it and mark from your waist to your hip. The hip I'm working with from waist is 9 inches. So, and also mark your crotch length. Okay, the crotch length I'm working with here is 11.5. Okay, so and connect your lines to be visible like so. This is actually the hip and the crotch length. Okay, so after connecting the lines like so, you also place your tape and mark from your waist to your new length. The new length I'm working with here is 22.5 inches. Okay, so 22.5 inches. Okay, so after marking your new length, you also mark your lines to be visible so that you'll be seeing everything that you're doing. Okay, so after that, you go down and mark the length, which is your ankle. Mark the length of the trouser. So the length of the trouser I'm working with is 42. So 42, I added 3 inch for both hemming and joining. Okay, hemming and joining, so everything is 45 inches, right? So the next thing you're going to do right now is to divide your hip measurement by 4. Divide your hip measurement by 4 and mark it and add your sewing allowance. You can add 1 inch sewing allowance. So here I'm adding 1.5 inches. I don't want to have any shortage. 1.5 inches. Okay, so any measurement you get here, you also take it up to your waistline. Okay, also mark that same measurement. This trouser I'll be using elastic band on it. Okay, so I'll be using the same measurement I have on my hip to my waist, because that is exactly elastic band. Elastic band is what I'm going to be using on this trouser. So you also mark that line on your crotch length. So the next thing is to divide your laps by 2 and mark it and add your sewing allowance on your crotch length. Okay, and connect it like so and curve your flap like so, right? So after doing this, then you measure your crotch length. Okay, measure your crotch length, whatever you have there. What I have here is 14 inches. Then divide it into 2. Divided by 2 will give me 7. So I mark 7. So I also mark that 7 on my hip line and on my new length, and I will also take it down to the ankle line, which is the length of the trouser. Okay, this line will serve as a guide for you to get all your measurements equally. Okay, while dividing your trouser, it will serve as a guide to get your measurements so equally. Okay, so mark it straight like so. Okay, connect the line straight like so. It will serve as a guideline for you not to make any mistake, right? So after marking out this line, the next thing you're going to do is to divide your new measurement. Remember, as you're taking your client measurement, make sure you take all the necessary measurement, both your new and your ankle. If you're sewing a straight trouser, but if is a palazzo, you don't need all this measurement. So divide your new measurement by 2. Okay, whatever you have, you divide it again and mark it on the both side. So I'm working with new of 17. Okay, divided by 2 will give me 8.5. So I divide 8.5 by 2 and mark it on the both sides. Do you understand what I mean? Divide it by 2. Whatever you have, divide it into 2 and mark it on the both side. And also go down on the ankle line, which is the length of the trouser, and measure and divide your ankle measurements. The ankle I'm working with here is 13. 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. Okay, so you also divide that 6.5 by 2 and mark it on the both side. Okay, mark it on the both side. Okay, remember this is a straight trouser. That is why you mark that straight middle line so that you get this correctly, accurately. Okay, so you connect the lines together like so. like you see me doing in the video. Connect the ankle line to the knee line. Okay, connect the ankle line to the knee line. So connect the ankle line to the knee line and also go on the other side and also connect. Do the same. Do the same, right? Also, do not forget to add your sewing allowance after marking the right measurement. Do not forget to add 1 inch sewing allowance, or you can use half-inch sewing allowance. But here I'm using 1 inch sewing allowance for the down side, right? Connect the lines like so. Okay, so after connecting from the ankle to the knee, you also come up and connect from the knee to the crotch side. Okay, from the knee to the crotch side, right? Like you see me doing in this video. All right, connect it like so, and please do not make it to be too straight, okay, so that the flap will be seated properly. Okay, so after connecting that side, you also connect this side to the hip. Okay, connect it to the hip area and also extend your line to the waist. Like I said before, is elastic band that I'll be using on this trouser. That is why I'm using the same measurement on the hip and on the waist, right? That is why I'm using the same measurement on the hip and the waist. So on this crotch length, you go down by 1 inch and slant it. This is your front slant, front slant, so that the front will be seated properly. Okay, the back is always, like I said, the back is always a little bit higher than the front. So the next thing you're going to do right now is to cut it out. This cutting of this trouser is so simple. So guys, watch out for my next video that I'm going to upload for the cutting of the back. Okay, so do not forget to like, share, drop your question on the comment section, and do not forget to follow us for more tutorials like this. This is just it. It is very, very simple to cut. Thank you for watching, and also do not forget to trim out the 1 inch that you slant on the front. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye. So this is a continuation of the video I posted earlier. Okay, so to cut out the back part, you fold your fabric into two again and place the front that you have already cut. Cutting out the back part is very, very simple. Just place the front that you have already cut out, okay, and place it, making sure that you have extra 3 inches on it, on the folded fabric. Okay, place the front that you have already cut and to cut out the back. So the next thing you're going to do after arranging it like so is to extend your crotch length. I extended this crotch length by 2. Reason is because I'm working with a smaller hip of 39 inches. So if you're working with a hip of 43 and above, you can add 2.5, please. And if you're working with a hip of 50 something, plus size, you can add 3 inches. And also I added 2 inches on the flap area, 2 inches on the flap area. So from that front, I go up by 2 inches for the boot extension. Boot side is always higher than the front, back is always higher than the front, so I extended it by 2 inches. I go up by 2 inches. Okay, add 2 inches on the flap area. So on the downside, so here I added 2 inches also. So as I'm going down, I reduce it to 1.5. So here I'm adding 1.5 inches. Okay, on the flap 2 inches. So on the downside, I'm adding 1.5 inch. Okay, so you can make your own more smaller, but here I'm adding 1.5 inches. Like I said, cutting out the back is very, very simple. So this is just the place that you're going to add anything. Every other place is going to be the same. It's going to be cut the same. Okay, it is very simple. So the 2 inches I go up, then you take out your ruler, bring out your ruler and slant it down to the other side. Okay, the other side. So this trouser, I'll be adding side pocket on it. If you don't know how to cut and sew side pocket trouser, inner pocket trouser, then you watch my pin video. There is a video I pin, so how to cut and sew a trouser side pocket. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do right now is to cut it out. Cutting out the back is very simple. Like I said, on that crotch length, if you're working with a bigger hip, add 2.5, and extra large, add 3 inches, just for the flap to be seated properly. Okay, do not forget to like us, share, and drop your comments, your question on the comment section. And do not forget to follow us for more tutorials like this. Thank you for watching. Bye.